Okay, welcome back, home racing fans. Well, the Scalextric Mustang has finally arrived here. It's taken me a little while. It's all on me. I was on the fence with this car. I didn't know if I was really going to pick it up or not, but it is a classic Mustang, so that was the swaying factor. With Scalextric's new pricing, I've just become sort of selective on what models I'm getting from them as compared to other manufacturers for out here in the wood track. But like I said, it's a classic Mustang, so I had to have it. Now on the outside, I think they've done pretty good. If you're unfamiliar with this car and you're wondering, I've seen some comments why the driver's on the right hand side. Mann Racing, Google that, Mann Racing Mustang, and you'll find out all about it and why. So that is prototypical to the car that is modeled in front of you. Red and gold, Mann Racing. On the outside, like I said, it's pretty good. Nothing, exceptional. You can see here there's some flecks right here of some dirt. So compared to other brands I've seen out there, the fit and finish isn't exceeding them by any means. But then again, it's not that bad either. The white is very opaque. There's no bleed through there, so they're not pink. So it looks pretty good. The wheels, they look okay. They look okay as well, according to the prototype photos. And the body shape, all around, looks very well. I give credit where credit's due. Nothing is perfect. And yes, it's true. This roll bar is roll cage, roll bar. The assembly is just poorly executed. I mean, this is halfway down on the side of the driver here. This is just quality control or lack of it, and just someone not caring enough to measure things properly and test fit these things. And I feel that for the new premium price that Scalextric wants, they should take a little bit more time in making sure these cars look a little bit better. That's just very, very annoying, even for the collector sitting in the case. Just not very, very nice looking. Turning the car over, you see it's in Sidewinder configuration with our neat little logo here that they've been doing lately with some of the cars. I could care less about it, but I guess some people think that's really neat. There's your digital door there and standard guide system. Unfortunately, that's okay. It's been that way for years. We can fix it. So we're gonna open this thing up, but we're gonna give a few test laps first. But like I said, on the outside, it's okay. I just, unfortunately, with the pricing, it's to me it's a $47.95 car priced at $64.95. But again, that's just my own opinion. Anyway, let's get to a nice little road test just to see what this pony's all about. Before we button it up, we will talk about the interior. There's been some topics about it. It's easy to pop out of the body. It's not glued in place. It's just snapped in place like that. Just like that. So it was easy to take out. And that's good because we need to address the roll bar. I have to say that I'm just very disappointed in this age of advanced CAD design. There's no excuse for this. This is just lack of quality control and lack of passion or caring about what you do to look at this and sign off on it and say, yep, that looks right. It just doesn't. So I've seen some people already work on this to rebuild it. I don't know if I'll bother to do that. I know that this part bothers me. I think I'm just going to take some pliers and just trim this part away because it's just so obvious through the glass that it bothers me. But that's just me, I guess, being nitpicky. But just to let you know, that's the issue there with the roll cage assembly. So if it bothers you, either build your own or remove it. And that's just what I did. I just took some sprue cutters. I just removed those two sections there. I left the rest, popped it back in here just to test fit it, and that looks a lot better. It really isn't there's not enough to look inside here for me to add more detail. So I just trim those away, and just that makes it look better to me. Alright, well, it's typical. There's a lot of chatter, wheel hop, given the free play of the axle and the motor flexing in the cradle, plus the mounts from the interior onto the bushings, no body float. So not that impressive. The tires are not that impressive, but that's okay. They weren't made to be out here, and neither was the car. So in fairness, I've seen a lot worse. I'm optimistic. I think we can tame this pony, just like we have other cars before it. I would have expected a little bit better, but again, in fairness, it was not made to be non-magnet on my wood track surface. So we'll investigate. We'll throw some tires at it, do some light tuning, and we'll get this thing sorted. Okay, it's time for some tire talk. I know, I get excited too. I know you've been waiting. So here we go. My two tires that I'm going to suggest. First, in silicone, quick slicks, size CB36. You're going to need that diameter, and there it is, very closely matching the original. All right, and it's tall enough to clear the spur gear so the spur gear doesn't drag the track. If you go too low diameter here, thanks to the spur gear, you're going to drag it on the track. We don't want that. So CB36 is the diameter that you want. In urethane, Paul gauge on this side right here. 21-10-5 LM, beautiful fit. Each tire fits the wheel very well. They're really close to slotted sizes, but the diameter at the rib there is 14.75, so a little shy. You might want to glue the tires on, but they're still a pretty good fit, and it's going to go a long way in the performance of this car on the wood track. Now, I'm going to show one more tire, and this is up to you if you want to do this. The tolerances are very close. This is the SC01, more for the NASCAR tire, and it's wider, but it will fit just barely. However, right there, the clearance is very close. I've tested it. The car gets around the track. You might want to do some adjustments. I don't know, maybe on the body slightly. Sanding maybe the outside edge here a little bit. That's up to you. So if you want a little bit wider, a little bit more footprint down here, you can try to get away with the SC01 in the quick slicks form. But, that's just for you guys out there that want to tinker even more. These are my suggestions. So we're going to change a tire on this car to give it a little bit more gription out here on the wood track and give it another test. Okay, a few things to go over before we have our next road test. First of all is the tires. I did go with the Paul gauge urethanes for this test. They fit really well. One thing to be aware of is they do have some flash molding on the inside sidewall there, and it might make it a little bit tough fit between the tire and the spur gear given the distance. Just clean away that flash molding and the tire will fit cleanly. I used an emery board in the tire machine whenever I sanded it down, and then I just swapped this side to that side. But you can use a hobby knife or sprue cutters, or sometimes just pick it away with your fingers just to get rid of that light flash molding. That's not a big deal. Second thing to talk about is the motor. As we discussed while we were having our first road test, there was a lot of noise, and some of that comes from this motor is just sitting, rocking in place. It's adjusting the gear mesh. That's just not good. And even with the interior tray coming down with the supports to help hold it in place, that actually resonates even more vibration and sound, and we need to take care of this. You can do this any way you want, but I prefer non-permanent methods, so no super glue. No super glue. I'm going to use a UV pen. This one from Bondic is really good. They're on Amazon. And I'm going to get down here on the sides, on the edges here, down here, and here. And I'm going to secure that in place. If you don't have UV, E6000, some clear silicone, that would do the same thing. Just don't use any super glue or anything permanent, because never say never, you might want to change the motor. And finally, well, like they say, there's Monday cars, there's Friday cars, then there's, I don't know, Saturday night working late cars. I'm in trouble with the boss. But either way, this one missed the lubrication line, and it's just very dry. And one of the noises that you heard in that first video of the road test is, and a lot of guys, veterans out there know this, is that your front axle here, if it's dry, it can really resonate noise and make it sound like the gears are just blowing out, but really it's just rattling around and it's just bone dry. So such was the case. Added a little bit of oil, just a light drop on each side, or you could use some grease, and that really goes a long way. Same thing back here, just a light drop inside here, inside in the bushings, because it really was bone dry. And then finally, the gears are dry as well. You want to use a good lithium grease, just a very, very light coat here on the gears, and I tell you, just a little goes a long way. So now that we've got that done, now let's get the saddle back on this pony and see what it does. Oh my, yes. It's just amazing. Just a little bit. This is a completely different animal. Smoother, much quieter. There's just a hint of the chatter, but that's the front. We can certainly improve that. I'm probably going to do a guide swap on it. The fronts are just supporting too much weight. They need to be trued up. But we've just started tuning. I mean, we're talking set of tires and lubrication and gluing in the motor just to reduce the vibration. But we haven't done any other body mods, no chassis mods, nothing extreme, just some real basic stuff. First of all, it's tires to get some gription out here. That has gone a long way. And second of all is the lubrication. Like I said, it was just so dry. But wow, what a difference. Fun little car. They're supposed to bring a smile to your face. Sometimes working on them, that's half the fun. And when you see an improvement like this, it does give you a grin, like it's supposed to. Okay, so at the end of the day, wow, just a little bit went a long way. I was very pleased with that result. The final on this car, well, as always, it's up to you. I still see a $47.95 car priced at $64.95. I just think Scalextric's pricing is just ridiculous compared to what you get. I don't see $64.95, especially when I go back in time 15 years to some other Mustangs, and they're just as good, if not better, than this car. We shouldn't go backwards in time. We should go forwards, and I'm just not seeing any forward thinking, especially in the roll bar detail department. You can see I've already removed that one. Just no excuse for that, but it's all about passion and the people. You know, if you just don't give a damn about what you're doing and the person in charge doesn't, that's what you get, sadly. Now, I'm part of the problem, though, not the solution, because here I am. I have one. I bought one. And that's because Alan Mann Racing, the historical significance of the car, it looks cool, and it's a classic Mustang. And I knew I could get it to run a little bit better. So I'm not upset with the purchase. It's just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you feel you pay too much for the product. And I think that's where Scalextric is compared to other brands, but that's just me. Anyway, look forward to your feedback online as always. I really appreciate all you chiming in. It makes for a great discussion on the Facebook group and in the forum, so I look forward to that. I hope all of you are safe out there. I know some of you are getting hammered with old man winter, so try to stay safe and warm. And with that said, if you've got the car, if you've picked it up, I'd love to hear your feedback on it, and we'll see you online.